Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Okay, this is another story time. I just felt like talking a little bit since we are on the topic of sex. Why not keep it going since I'm in a talking mood, right? Let's discuss the first time I had a big O and the first time I squirted for the first time, and what was it like? Okay, so having sex, having a big O, oral sex vaginally is way different. It feels different, and experiencing it for the first time, you don't know what the fuck you're experiencing, but it's just like, what the fuck. So I remember in high school, right, my sister's best friend Sharice was a squirter, but she didn't know she was a squirter, but she used to always talk about it, like her baby father, and she'd be like, I was having sex and I just felt like I was gonna pee on everything. And they used to always tell her in high school, like, you're squirting, girl, you're squirting. And she was like, no, I'm peeing on my fucking tail. So long story short, I learned in the future and later in life that I am also one too. But it took the right person to, show me that I am, so during oral sex, my baby father used to, he was the best at oral sex. Like, he was the best. There's nobody better than him, in my opinion, that I've came across in 35 years. I like oral sex. I don't need it all the time. When I really, really am horny and I just, just want to knock this nut out of the way, you know what I mean? I will prefer oral sex, get the job done. I'm good for a couple of days, you know what I mean? So it's not something that I need on a regular, but when I do ask for it, that's when I really, really need it. And my baby father is pretty much the best at it. Like, you don't have to teach him, you don't have to tell him what to do, you just like, he knows what to do, he knows where to go, he's just perfect in that. So when it comes to oral sex, he gets an A in that one. He makes me do it all the time. It's fantastic. When it comes to having oral, the big O during sex and squirting, there was only one person who made me do that, who made me aware that I can do that, because I used to always watch porn and was like, man, I want to be like them women on porn. Like, why can't I be like them women on porn? But it takes the right person to get you there. Like, it takes the right person. It has to be the right situation. It has to be, you have to be in the right positions, the whole nine. Like, it was just one person, and it was my ex, right? So my ex was, I don't know, it was just, I don't know. Maybe it was just is it called endorphins, pheromones, or whatever, when we were like in sexual contact, when we had sexual contact with each other, it was always an experience. Like, it was an experience from the beginning, right? So when we first ever had sex with each other, it was actually at the park. No lie, it was at the park, and we were drunk out of our minds off of E&J. So I didn't even remember what it was like having sex with him. I just remember having sex with him, but I couldn't remember what the sex was like, right? So I just remember going to the park, because we were whacked out on E&J, and we get to the park, and I was just like, I remember telling him, I want to feel you, or something like that. And he was like, what, right now in the park? And I was like, yeah. I remember, as I said, I remember the act, just didn't remember what it was like. So the next day, when I was sober, he came back over and we had sex again. But this time, I was sober. And I had a rule a long time ago. I don't mess with men who, is like super long, because I don't need it. Like, after a certain point, long penis, having sex with a long penis doesn't feel good. If they, just doing like this, it doesn't feel good. So I was like, I don't want that. I don't need that ever again in life. I'm cool with somebody like 7 inches, maybe even 6, with a lot of width. I was happy with that. Anything bigger than that, I didn't need it, nor did I want it. So having sex with my ex, he was humongous. So the first time, he was like, get on top. I looked at his penis and I was like, what do you want me to do there? And he was like, I want you to get on top of it and ride it. And we was in my bed, and I was like, I remember for a long time, for maybe about a month or two, riding it was damn near impossible, because I used to whimper like a baby. I was like, I can't do this, I can't do this. But I did it because he used to encourage a bitch. Like, you got this. Come on, you got this. Ride daddy. And when he used to say ride daddy, I was like, okay, I can ride daddy. You know what I mean? And so it was just so passionate. Like, I could not ride it, because he used to tell me I could. He gave me so much confidence in myself when I was on top of that thing. So with me being on top of that thing, he had a lot of, he used to work out all the time. I'm the total opposite. I'm lazy as fuck. But he is into his body and looks and things. So he had a lot of power, So he used to do all kind of stuff. With one arm, he used to be able to like pick me up with one arm and sit me on top of my, and my counters are pretty high. So, and I'm 5'4". He was 6'4". So he's just wrap his arm around me, pick me up by the waist, and sit me on my counter. And that shit used to be so sexy. I was like, I didn't know you was this strong. He's like, I'm not a small girl. You know what I mean? I got a lot of cushion, But he was just like, that means nothing. When he wanted to, do it on the counter, he was putting me on the counter and bang away on the counter. And eventually I got used to all that. After I got used to the size of his penis, I began to enjoy the size of his penis. And because we had such a great sex life, I was able to start having the big O during sex. And usually I can't. I just enjoy sex, but having the big O during sex is different. So I used to always get on top now, because I used to be like, as soon as like I sat down on it, I would sit down and be like, oh my God, like it's like rainfall all over the place, right? So I'm like, he just had a way with me when it came to sex and intimacy and all that, how he used to touch me, and just him grabbing the nape of my back, that used to just send fireworks all through my, like, explosions. Like, I loved how he used to touch me. Like, his senses were, him being a Taurus man are very into their senses and tasting and touching and smelling and all that stuff. So sex is a thing for them. Like, it's not just the acts, it's a whole environment that goes along with it. Everything has to be on point for them to do sex completely. Like, I can't even explain it. If you ever had sex with a Taurus man, you know what I'm talking about. But it's a whole experience that goes into sex with them. So it's just like, So me and him used to indulge in, when we used to go out together, we used to either drink alcohol together all the time, or if we were like going to a party or if we going to turn up, we used to engage in recreational drugs. So was one time, this was the night that I squirted for the first time. Hello. So it was his birthday. And it was me, my girlfriend, if you want to call it, and him. So it was the first time that they met They met each other. They were all here in my home, right here, right up now. We were going to down the street to the park because it was a jazz festival, and it was Keisha Cole and Music Soul Child and all them people there. So I thought, we used to like the same music and stuff like that. So I knew he was something that he would like. So I got all of us tickets because the tickets was like maybe $20 or something. So I got all of us tickets, and we all went together, got drunk together here, popped to eat here, and then by the time we got to the festival, everybody was having a good old time. We was all supposed to have a threesome together that night, and that didn't happen because of something else. So eventually she left after the concert was over, and it was just me and him, and we was just like, fuck that shit. Let's go ahead and, have us enjoy this birthday. You know what I mean? Oh, man. So, we was having sex. And on E, having sex is on a whole nother level when you're on, when you're on drugs. So, this particular night, I don't know what it was, but we were like, I was beyond, like, horny. Like, I was just beyond. And he was hitting it from the back. And while he was hitting it from the back, he put my leg up on the bed. And this time, before my bed broke, my bed was really, really high. So he put my leg up on the bed, and then he was hitting it from the back. And I began to feel different. I began to feel like there was some pressure happening, and I was just like, stop, just back up a little bit. And he was just like, fuck you, and he just kept going. And I was like, no, like, really, I need you to back up a little bit. So when he backed up and pulled out, it was water everywhere. And I was like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And his face at first was like, did this bitch just fucking, like, his face was in like shock and disgust, but but he couldn't help himself but to keep going, right? So he just went back at it. And as soon as he went back at it, it was happening again. But now I don't even care because he won't stop, right? So I was just like, please stop. Like, it's happening again. And then the more it happened, he was like, oh, you gonna keep coming, baby? Okay, then keep coming then. And then, it just became a thing. It just was like, all night long. And it was like, it was a goal of him all night long. Now he's flipping me all over the place, like on the back. He was like, bring a vibrator. And he put the vibrator. He was like, don't take it off that, And he was on top. He had the vibrator right there. And then it was just like all over his chest. I was like, I was impressed with myself, okay? And the more I did it, the more it turned him completely on. So after he finally was just dead tired and we was laying in the bed, I apologized. I said, I'm sorry about what just happened. I think I peed on you. And he said, you didn't pee on me, baby. You just squirted on me. I said, I did what? And he said, you was squirted on me. He said, that is the sexiest thing that I ever seen. I've never seen nobody ever do it. And that is the sexiest thing that I've ever seen. And I said, I did? I was like a little kid. I was like, I did? And he was like, yes, you did. And now, he said, I've always known that you can come. Because you tell me all the time. I know your body. When you're on top, you shaking and shivering. You clench my leg every time that you come. He said, I always know when you come. He said, but now, to see that you can come, there is not ever going to be a time when I'm having sex with you that you are not going to come. That is a goal of mine. And he was like, I guarantee you, baby, you gonna come every single time. And the beauty of fucking a Taurus man loves out there, They are patient in the motherfucker. And their goal is to motherfucking please you in the bedroom. So, honey, when I say that was his goal every single time, that was his goal every motherfucking time. So, that's how I learned that I can't squirt. He was the one who made me have a big O while I'm sitting on top of him, riding that thing like this, okay? And the person who made me have the big O with oral is my baby father. And, you know, I do it manually all the time, just with my vibrator that I have underneath my pillow. Anytime I feel like it, you know, I just get to work. But that's all I have to say. I'm hungry now, so I'm about to go to McDonald's and go get me something to eat before I get cranky. So, you guys, thanks for joining me for another story time. I want you guys to like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel, Regina's World. Follow me on my social media platforms, Keyshawn Voorhees Robinson on Facebook, and Sleepless and LVMV on Instagram. Alright, holla!